If you're receiving this video link, it's because one of the three attorneys in our office has reviewed your intake or conversation notes with our intake manager, and we'd like to know more about your case. And so we would like your help in requesting your medical records. Dan, what does that mean?
Well, medical records and the information in those medical records is confidential and privileged. So the first thing we need is for our clients and potential clients to provide us with authorization to get those records. We provide the forms. We typically make the request ourselves. Sometimes our clients like to make the request, and we do that as well. And this is after typically our clients provided us with some sort of narrative history of their version of the facts, because we realize that the records don't always contain everything that actually happened, or if it contains information, it may not be the correct information. So once we get those records, and we go for all the records, because the defense of any case, malpractice case, is going to look at all those records as well. And Lauren, tell our folks, potential clients, what are the potential sources, what types of providers are we going to ask for those records from?
Absolutely. Even when we're investigating a case in the beginning, if it's a hospital case, we want all the hospitalizations probably for about the last 2 or 3 years. If it's a specific provider, we're going to want about 5 years of those providers' records. We're going to want lab reports. We're going to want radiology images. Sometimes that means 2 to 3 different requests to one hospital system. We're also going to want to request the bills because we want to know what you've been charged for those services. And our paralegals help each one of us individually get those requests out. It usually takes about 2 weeks to 4 weeks to get the records back. And then the lawyers themselves are looking at your medical records. We don't outsource that. We don't have a nurse or anybody who looks at it. It's Dan, myself, or Bo pouring through those medical records to make sure that we know what's in there so we can decide what the next step is. And Dan, what are the sort of next steps after we've reviewed medical records?
If the records substantiate what we believe happened and that there is a medical malpractice case there to pursue, and of course there's no charge to the client for the time we spend reviewing those records, and sometimes that can take hours and hours. We then go back to the client and we tell them, hey, the records support moving forward with this case. And the next step in moving forward is to have an expert review it. So, for example, if we're suing a family doctor, we need to have those records reviewed by a family practice doctor who treats the same types of patients as you, the client, were in that situation. If it's a case with regard to a surgery that went wrong, we need to find a surgeon who has no contact with the potential defendant or the people in this area to review the case and provide us with an opinion as to whether or not that doctor was negligent. You don't have a case until a doctor says, I treat patients like this. A reasonable, prudent physician wouldn't have done what this physician did or would have done what he failed to do, and the patient is injured as a result. So that next step is getting a medical review by a competent, qualified, and well-respected physician expert.
And sometimes, and COVID has actually made this longer, sometimes requesting the records will take a month to 2 months. Usually, if we have a number of cases we're looking at review, it may sit on my desk for about 1 to 2 weeks before the review is done. And then I will, in writing, get back to the client and say, we want to do one of 2 things. We either want to hire an expert because our suspicions were confirmed, or we're going to decline the case for the following reason. That can sometimes take months, unfortunately. And then finding an expert may take a while as well. So occasionally I'll have someone call me and say, well, this other firm took 3 to 4 months to turn my case down. And I'll say, yes, unfortunately, sometimes it is a lengthy process. But we do want folks to keep in touch with us during that process. We'll do our best to let you know where we are in the process, whether the records have arrived, whether we need your help getting more records, whether they've been reviewed yet, etc. Dan, thanks for taking time to help our potential clients understand more about our records request.
Yes, sir.